Why Jews need Buddhism. Sorry, I hear a lot of feedback. There's no sound? Now I hear no feedback, so good? Okay. Why Jews need Buddhism. So from the time that I was 8 years old, I already knew about the Holocaust and I already felt like a victim of it. Judaism has become synonymous with existential dread, fear, and neuroticism. Even if you're not Jewish, you probably have seen this through the likes of Adam Sandler's meltdowns, or Larry David's neuroticism, or Abby and Alana's frantic energy on Broad City. But this comic relief reflects bits of reality of the Jewish community today. This intergenerational inherited anxiety has come from 2,000 years of oppression, exile, and genocide. And the way that we're taught about our history today in Judaism is using the pronouns we, us, and they, them, victim and oppressor. I come from a pretty anxious family. My mom is an insomniac. She gets only 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. My dad is pretty paranoid, being the son of a woman who lost her whole family in the Holocaust. And all of those people emerged from other really anxious people who felt like the world was a pretty scary place. But there is something, people kept telling me, I'm so excited to learn about Jews from this talk. And if there's one thing that you need to know about Jews, it's that we are petty. And let me tell you, we have a holiday every year where we fast over the destruction of a temple that happened 2,000 years ago. We're still petty about a building. Hanukkah, what you all thought was 8 nights of receiving presents from our parents, is actually another celebration that we were not decimated by our enemies. And my personal favorite, Purim, which is the Jewish Halloween, is a celebration where we're supposed to get drunk and traditionally dress up as our enemy that tried to annihilate us as a people. It's pretty impressive, right? It's like deep-rooted. So when we started this training on the very first night, Hector asked us to write down something on a piece of paper and burn it in something that we wanted to shed and not have with us through the duration of the next 11 weeks. For me, I wrote down victim mindset and I tossed it into the flames. Unfortunately, this sorcery doesn't get rid of all fears, but it did help me to bring consciousness to where victimhood is present in my life. And throughout the course, I had to ask myself, what does Buddhism have to say about this? So it turns out that Dharma does have thoughts about victim mindset. And if you study with 3 Jewels Dharma classes on Tuesday and Thursday nights, you know that it always comes back to karma and emptiness. So our personalities, our identities, and our characteristics are empty of a nature, meaning that the things that we hold so tight to that are so important to our egos have no fixed interpretation and vary by perception. So oh, my dad. Hi, Dad. So I'm on the Zoom. Hi, Sybil. So Jewishness does not equal neuroticism. Jewishness can mean anything that we want it to mean. And karma, which states that the movements of the mind create our reality, show us that the seeds that we plant become our reality. So when we, as a people, think that bad things are going to happen to us, then in turn, we will it into creation. So maybe it might be time for Jews to start incorporating Buddhism into our practices. And then that leads me to the very important question of what would Jerry Seinfeld look like if he meditated? So based on how you all responded to Jesse Israel the other day, I think that you would like him. This community seems to take a liking to Jews who meditate. But seriously, Jerry would be meditating and all of a sudden he would think about something crazy that Kramer did and he would be off his point of focus. But if he knew about karma and emptiness, he would know the nature of Kramer's actions are actually empty of a nature, bringing him back to his object, and therefore making him feel more in control of his reality and more in control of his mind. At the beginning of this talk, I didn't, but I meant to say that I was a person who overcame anxiety. And I am a person who has overcome anxiety, but I think that I'm still a person who is overcoming anxiety. Anxiety and all of the causes of our suffering don't just go away once we find something that helps to ease that pain. It's really a constant practice. And I could tell you the stories of me overcoming anxiety and overcoming fear because I genuinely believe that everything is a lesson. Even the things that seem so unreasonable, like losing my best friend to suicide at 17, or thinking that asking to be loved is asking for too much, or the moment that I feel a pain, I catastrophize and start thinking about who's going to hold my hand during chemo. But those are your stories, like we've heard this whole weekend, just like they're my stories. And we're all looking for something to take away that pain, but it's really a practice. And I think that Buddhism and meditation are the practice that can ease that suffering and that pain little by little when these stories come up. Jews obviously do not have a monopoly on neuroticism. We have a very funny and marketable flavor of it, but it is not just ours. Anxiety exists in all strange corners of this world. But I think that if I can use Buddhism and meditation to overcome anxiety and victimhood, then anyone can. Thank you. Yeah.